Alright, budget magic time. Suicide Black in Modern. And we don't have that much power in this hand, but I think it's keepable-ish. Swamp for our opponent, and... well, at least we didn't have much good to Thoughtseize. Score. They probably got to take Asylum Visitor, or else we can Madness it on future discard. They go the other direction. Alright, opponent passes. Another swamp was not what we were hoping for. Already kept a land-heavy hand. So, land go. Swamp for our opponent. Raven's Crime. Well, we'll discard a swamp. Opponent passes. Well, swamp go. Not going to play the Asylum Visitor, because we can probably play it for free when our opponent makes us discard it. Megrim, alright. Swamp go. Bajukabog going to exile our graveyard. So this looks like a budget rack deck, sort of. Augur of Skulls, sure. More lands. Yeah, let's just swamp and go. Alright, we got to discard 2, which means we discard Asylum Visitor and Ghost Quarter. We get to Madness Asylum Visitor. Hopefully our opponent's last card is not a removal spell. If it's not, this Asylum Visitor is going to be absurd in this discard matchup. We do take some damage from Megrim. See, the problem with Megrim in a rack deck is once your opponent's out of cards, it does nothing. Alright, they have a Gatekeeper to kill our Asylum Visitor. So they did have a removal spell, unfortunately. So we lose Asylum Visitor. But we draw Abyssal Persecutor. Pretty big. And I think we just pass here. We want to save cards to discard to Avatar. Opponent goes with Thoughtseize. Probably takes our Avatar of Discord. Well, has to take our Avatar of Discord. We dropped 14. They dropped to 16. Hopefully their last card is not another removal spell. That would be annoying. Opponent passes. Well, Bajukabog, get rid of our opponent's graveyard. Get in with Abyssal Persecutor. Put our opponent down to 10. And now we just want to get empty-handed to turn off this Megrim. So hopefully we stop drawing lands. Man, our empty-handed card draw spells or creatures are so good. Our bad Bobs are actually good Bobs in this matchup. Opponent passes. Well, we get to Gatekeeper the Gatekeeper. Might as well play a Ghost Quarter just in case. And get in for 6. So we kind of have our opponent to the point where one more attack and then a way to kill our Abyssal Persecutor and we just win. Which is sweet. That's a good place to be. And our opponent scoops it up. And I guess I figured we were going to be able to kill it eventually. Discard like crazy. This seems like a bad matchup for our opponent. I guess the one thing we could bring in would be Duresses, if we even want them. And go down like Dismembers, a Bioblight, and a Victim of Night. Actually, maybe we go down all the Victim of Nights. Some of their creatures are vampires. We can bring in Rite of Consumption. That's not bad. And then maybe Ratchet Bombs to hit their enchantments and try it like that. Alright. This hand is okay, depending on how much we get hit by discard. We'll keep it. Swamp for our opponent, and the Rack. The Rack is going to be a little annoying. Swamp Goo. So this is a Rack deck, just playing a Megrim as an additional Rack. The Rack is better though, because the Rack works just from getting your opponent empty-handed. Megrim, you need some luck, I guess. You need your opponent to somehow draw cards and not play those cards so you can make them discard them. The Rack just sits out and does damage like a Champ. They got to take Pack Rat, I think. Yeah, they take Pack Rat. Rack does nothing. We draw another Pack Rat. Man, this is interesting. Let's just cast a Gatekeeper. No kicker. If we get to the point where we can start activating Pack Rats, it's going to go really well for us. Bojuka Bog gets rid of our graveyard. Gatekeeper gives us cover against an opposing Gatekeeper on our Pack Rat. Another Rack. Oh, Lord. Opponent's down to 2 cards, though. So the Racks don't do anything yet. Ratchet Bomb would be sweet. Let's get in with our Gatekeeper. And then play a Pack Rat and a Ghost Quarter. Pass the turn. Does our opponent have removal for our Pack Rat, or can we just take over the game? Opponent has a Smallpox. Okay. Well, it doesn't just kill our Pack Rat. At least not yet. So we discard a Avatar of Discord, which we're not going to cast. Sack, Gatekeeper, sack, Swamp. Racks don't do anything yet. We play a Swamp, attack with our Pack Rat, put our opponent to 14, pass the turn. We're still out of the rack range right now, and our opponent's out of cards. They didn't discard a... Alright, they're just going to fire up Mutavault. Question is, do we discard a card to make a rat? We take 2. It would mean we take 2 damage from the rack, but we get in for 4 instead of 1. I think we do it. Let's discard a Ghost Quarter. So this turns on our opponent's racks, but I think that we can race the racks with our Pack Rats. So we're down to 15. We attack with our Pack Rats. Discard a Duress. Hit our opponent for 6. Down to 8. And we just have lethal next turn. Gray Merchant seems sweet, but I don't even think we want to play anything. I think we just hold our cards to minimize the rack damage. Alright, Wrenchmind gets us empty-handed, but that isn't quite enough for our opponent. So the racks hit us for 6, but then we just discard whatever card we draw. Attack with our rats for lethal, even through the Mutavault. Alright, so we drop to 9, but Pack Rat, discard Tomb of Urami. Make all of our rats 4/4s. And I think we got there. Sweet. Alright, so I guess we can be 8 rack. Another weird matchup, though. Not something that you expect to run into very often.